Hello and welcome to the Great Inspiration Show, where we get up close to people making a positive impact on their career paths. I'm Chris.
And I'm Annie, and we're live from the University of Bedfordshire. Today we have an actress and also a viral Instagram content creator, and most importantly, a graduate from this university. Please welcome Sarel Madziya.
Hello.
Hi, Sarel.
How does it feel to be back into the university?
It's one of the weirdest feelings ever. I feel like I've got a late assignment or something that I've got to hand in.
That's how I feel.
But it's nice to be back, nice to see familiar faces.
Yeah, so what course is it that you did when you were studying here, and how do you think it's benefited your career so far?
I did media performance when I was here, and it was a degree, and it was a lot of fun. I think it's helped me because I learned so much while I was on the course. Not only was I learning on the course, but I was doing stuff outside of the course. And they've all benefited me along the way. So yeah, I think it's been a massive impact on my career.
What stuff did you take part in outside of the course?
I took part in Media Junction. I was actually, fun fact, the chairman of Media Junction. I hope that's not taken out of the history of Media Junction when they tell people about it, because I started that baby. But yeah, I did other stuff. I was, dealing with loads of students and lecturers. It was quite a lot of fun, and I kind of just find myself in different projects if you could get me on there.
Who would you say has been the biggest influence on you?
In life?
In your career, in life? Both, really?
Either.
Oh,
both.
gosh. My mum, I guess. If I don't say that, she may kill me. But I would also say maybe, I think career-wise, someone like Viola Davis is someone who I really aspire to be like. I think her career path has been really amazing, and she's an amazing actress. But yeah, I get inspired by everyone. Whoever I meet along the way, there's always something I can learn from someone. So yeah.
And you were recently in the Guardian article about your performance in Albatross. Could you tell us more about your performance and your experience?
Yeah, so I did a play called Albatross by Isley Lynn, and it was at the Playground Theatre, and it was a lot of fun, first of all, being back in a theatre after the year we've had. But it was one of the most inspirational roles that I've done, because I was playing a homeless woman, and I kind of had to really dig deep when it came to my research and all of that. But yeah, it was a great experience. I learned quite a lot, and it was just a really gritty character to get into.
Now, your character had a lot of emotion and depth. How did you kind of prepare for that side of the character?
It's so difficult, because the last thing you want to do when you're playing someone who isn't well represented in society, I find, is play a caricature version of them. Yeah. So I wanted to make it as real and authentic as possible. So yeah, I found my research was quite important, but also just making it real. If I don't believe what I'm saying, how can anybody else believe what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
True.
So yeah, it was a very emotionally heavy piece. There was a 4-page monologue at the end that was
oh, wow.
that was deep, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, it was great writing, and yeah, it was very challenging, and it tested me as an actor.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Sarel has over 450,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm not sure if you know this, but you might. But you've just hit 50,000 followers on Instagram.
50,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
She practically checked this
Thank
morning.
you. So do you think there's an importance in building an online platform, and has it helped your career?
Oh, that's a good question. Has it helped my acting career? No, not necessarily, because it's quite new. It happened over the pandemic. Is it important? If you want to get into it, then go into it. I think we live in such a day and age where people put such importance on social media, and realistically, if your account gets deleted, that's it. You have to find value in other things in life. But obviously, if that's what you want to do, absolutely pursue it, and but don't make that your whole personality trait.
We saw a couple of your videos. We saw the one where you're talking about Boris. There's a few on Boris. So we saw one where you're talking about him eating cheese
and wine
and wine on Downing Street, and then there was another one about him trying his best. Do you think these kind of videos attract a certain type of viewers and audience?
I'm sure they do. I think my content is very much social commentary. If something's happening in the world, and I want to talk about it, I will talk about it. And obviously Boris is a hot topic, and he's Yeah, he's there. But yeah, I find that when I talk about political stuff, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I try and put like a comedic-ish twist to it.
Do you find that's like your niche audience?
As in like political?
Just like everything that's going on recently?
Yeah. I think people definitely gravitate to me because of like the social... A comment I always get is like, I feel like I'm on FaceTime with you, which is quite a nice...
That's
quite a nice comment to get. But yeah, I think because I just talk about like regular stuff you talk about with your family over the kitchen table, that's kind of the vibe that I put out.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. I loved it when you mentioned the brain surgeon in part of the video about him trying his best. It's not like you're a brain surgeon.
Like, who says that? Like, I don't want you to try your best. Like, go to school and know what you're talking about and just try your best while you're doing surgery on my brain. But yeah, anyway, don't get me started.
Do you have any advice for people who are looking to grow like online platforms and that sort of? Because you got a lot of followers, so.
Oh God, like I said, I'm very new to it. So like, I would say be as authentic to yourself as you can. There's a guy on TikTok actually who does content about like train watching, and he is massively viral. I'm talking millions of views.
I've seen him.
Right?
Yeah.
What's this one about?
So all he does is he puts a camera on his head and he waits at train stations and he watches trains go by, and the joy and excitement in his eyes. But he is so authentic to himself. Like, he's not trying to be somebody else. He's just like, I like trains. This is my hobby. I'm going to make videos about it.
I think I've seen that.
You haven't?
He's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
You should definitely check him out. I think that's the key to it. You've just got to be yourself. And if you do that, you will find your audience.
And you're also writing a monologue that's going to be put in a book of monologues. Can you tell us more about that monologue and who initiated that idea to do it?
Okay, so there's this writer, director, creator called Ricky Beadle Blair, and he put out a call out on Twitter saying who wants to write a set of monologues for underrepresented people who want to apply for drama schools. That was kind of like the goal for this book.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 3 different books. There's one for like LGBTQ+, there's one for POC and Black, and there's one for working class. I applied for POC and Black because I find that when I'm looking for auditions, there's just not that many that represent women who look like me. And I wrote this monologue about my experience on being sort of me. I can't talk too much about the content of it because we've kind of like been sworn to #secrecy. But yeah, it talks about like me as a person and my journey in navigating my way through the UK as an immigrant, who also, when I go back as an immigrant to my country, I'm also seen as like not one of the people, if that makes sense.
Is it okay if I ask where you're originally from?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that you were from Britain. I don't know if you're from Britain because you live in London.
Yeah.
So I don't know if where you were from.
No, I'm from Zimbabwe. I came here when I was 4, so I was quite young when I came.
Okay.
And obviously like did my whole school system and stuff. But it was really weird that when I went back to Zimbabwe and I was like 21, 20 something.
Really weird.
And when I got there, they were just like, they were welcoming, don't get me wrong, but there was definitely, like the side eyes from the aunties, and I'm like, babe, I'm one of you, what are you doing? Like, but yeah.
So do you think there's a sort of distinctive lack, well, the Golden Globes protests have just highlighted that there's a distinctive lack in the acting industry. As an actor, do you find it sort of difficult to find casting roles suitable for you?
Yeah, I'm currently in a minor dispute with a potential agent who wanted, basically, you can like trial your agent for a little bit, and we had a meeting and I kind of discussed like where I want to see my career going, and then I was sent sides for a role that I just didn't think was for me. I'll just be blatantly honest. It was like a slave role. Now, don't get me wrong. Listen. 12 Years a Slave is a great movie. I just don't want to be that actor, personally. And that's fine for you to, like, whatever way you want to go in your career, like, it's okay. You know? It's up to you to decide. But I just made that very clear in my discussion. So, yeah, I do think that there is a lack, but I think that we've come leaps and bounds from where we were, and I think it's up to like the younger generation and us to like kind of create our own and stop asking people to make stuff for us, if you know what I mean.
Create
like if you don't see yourself on TV, write something where you can see yourself. I think that's the way to go, because asking he's old a lot, to try and change the way they're thinking.
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it, but we'll see what happens in the next 5 to 10 years. Who knows?
Oh, so I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask, as an actor, if you could play any dream role,
Right.
what would it be?
Okay.
They could be out already, you're not out.
Ever watched How to Get Away with Murder?
Yes.
That would be, because I would make an amazing lawyer. Like, I just like objectively, I would make an amazing lawyer.
You're a good talker.
And honestly, and I like power characters, but then they're like flawed. You know, like you like them, but they've also kind of got a bit of like a dodginess about them.
Like Annalise Keaton.
Exactly. But yeah, I think something like that. I also kind of want to get into comedy, but we'll see. I don't know.
Now, we're running out of time, unfortunately, but one last question before you do go. Do you have any advice for younger people who are looking to get into the same industry area as you, kind of? Yeah.
Yes, don't give up.
Don't give up.
I have dipped in and out of the industry. I went and did 9-to-5 jobs. I've worked in bars, restaurants. Don't give up. You will knock down the door if you keep trying. That's my advice.
Well, unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. So thank you so much for being here. It was lovely having you here. Tune in next week where we interview producer and children's TV specialist Jess Simmons. But for now, it's a bye from me.
It's a bye from me. See you soon. I laughed because it's how she said it, not because of what she